Hello, hello. Hi, Kathy. Just gonna wait a little bit, see if we get some more joiners tonight. How are you? Hi, Pam. We're about to get started. You guys are early, right, or right on time, whichever way you want to look at that. Hi, Cheryl. Here I am. Did you guys miss me? I missed you guys. I decided we'd play around with some of these free time gals, although that doesn't really look like free time to me. That looks like work time. Yep. And so a few people asked how to make the hair longer. So we're going to give this girl a ponytail while she's hanging laundry. So I put her on the board kind of where I want her already. This is the free time set. It does not have dies to go with it, but it's still super fun. We're not going to need them anyway because we're going to just create the scene behind her. So we're going to color her up, and then we're going to give her a ponytail, and then a little backyard scene to hang her laundry outside. I know Jamie's done in the laundry room before, but this time we're going to do backyard hanging laundry. So that's the plan for tonight. I do not have all the colors picked, but I do have a few in mind for a few different things. So we'll go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and get started because I have to stamp it, and if we're going to do the background, it might take a little while. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in there and get started. Just going to stamp this image on here. And I'm going to put the sentiment in the corner because this is one of my favorite sentiments. It is so funny. I'll read it to you just one second, but it's one of my favorites. It says, "I wish my bank account filled up as fast as my laundry basket." And I want that to be really, really bold, so I'm going to stamp just the sentiment one more time. Not the girl, just the sentiment. So I got a little bit on the girl's laundry basket, and I don't want that on there, so I'm just going to use my little thing to wipe it off. I don't want it to be too wet because I don't want it to leave any wet marks on my picture. But I definitely want it to be on the sentiment. I could have just took her off, but oh well. So I just wanted to double stamp that just to make it a little bit darker and stand out a little better. I love that sentiment. It makes me laugh when I read it. So I'm just going to wipe these off real quick so we don't leave them unloved. All right, now we're going to take this off of here and we're going to zoom in so you guys can see better while we color. These little girls are easy to color because they're so small. Hi, Mama. They're so small that they don't take a long time to color, so I wanted to do a background. Now, this is going to be a background I've never done before. You guys hear me say that a lot, I'm sure. But like I always say, it's just paper, and we're not going to learn if we don't try, so we're going to try. Oops, I didn't get that on there straight, and I'm very picky about that. I know that's silly, but for me, it's important. So now that's back on. The other one says, I'm never really sure I actually have free time or if I just keep forgetting stuff. And then it's time to start something new. So this is our free time set. It's super cute. Hi, Mickey. This is what we're using tonight. This one. And I wish my bank account would fill up as fast as my laundry basket. So that's what we're using tonight. I've already stamped it here to get it ready. We're also going to build a background behind her. It's going to be an outside hang laundry. Hopefully it's not, hopefully it's going to look good. We'll see. If it's not, it's just paper. We'll just cut her out and move on. But we're going to try. So I've chosen sort of a regular skin tone sequence we got here. So E000, E04, E11, E21, and E00. So those are that's the order we're going to do it, and those are the colors we're going to do. So you want to hold on a second. I'm about to give it an earthquake because I'm going to move my camera over because I don't want to be sitting here and coloring over here. Okay, so we are going to use our E000 first, and we're just going to wet the paper for that base coat with this E000. So just getting that paper wet. Going to be our first step. And I like to do, when I'm doing skin, I always like to do it in sections. So we're going to do the face, then we'll do the arms and the feet together. So I'm going to do the face first. So I'm going to go to E04 next. And that's where I'm going to put my deep shadows in. So around the bottom of her face, along her hairline, right here. I try not to do too much underneath her glasses until I get to a lighter color, just because I don't like there to be such dark behind the glasses, because I feel like the reflection from the glasses would not be that dark. Hi, Holly. Yay! We had a few more people jump on, I see. I'm super excited you guys came. If somebody could tag Ellen Klingsmith, I would really appreciate that. And Michelle, the ones that are usually here. Jamie was tired, so she went to sleep already. So we don't have her to tag people. So if you think of anybody that might want to be on the live that's usually here, go ahead and tag them. Oh, good. That works out good. Okay, we're using E11 and we're just pushing back on that dark. We want it to stay dark so it looks like a shadow. This is the one that I'll go down the side of her face here. Not the darkest one, but this one. Just gonna kind of touch that up a little bit. So she doesn't have any real color to her yet. Oh, the jellyfish. I almost did the jellyfish tonight. I think one day this week I'll do the jellyfish in different colors. A couple of them, because I think that they are so much fun to play with. I really like doing those jellyfish. I also contemplated the moose because we haven't done that either. So this one's E21. We're going to do just a little bit more with this one because this is our true skin tone color. I like the jellyfish, and it's a quick color too. It's not, it doesn't take a really long time to do it. It does take, it's a little tedious to cut out, but super cute when you're done. Okay, so we got a little bit of shadowing going on there. Oh, wow. Embossing glaze. I'm not sure I know how to do that. And then before I put on the last color, I'm going to use R11. And I'm just going to give her some little red cheeks. Or pink cheeks, actually. I'm going to make them a little pinker than I usually do, just because she's outside working in the heat, hanging her laundry. Pretty sure I would not do that in my free time, but I think it's funny that the set is called Free Time. So just kind of filling in the rest of that face with this E00. And then notice I didn't do under her glasses because I like to go back in with that one and do a second layer of the E000 because I like the under the glasses to be a little lighter. I think it makes it stand out that she has glasses on. And while we have this color open, we might as well start doing the arms and the feet as well. So now we're just going to put that base coat down to wet the paper. She's got little fingers sticking over there. This is the other arm. And then she's got these little bits of her feet showing right there. Embossing glaze sounds like fun. I will have to look into that sometime. E04 is the next one. And I'm going to do some shadowing under her arm here. And then I'm going to switch to doing it underneath that top arm to the bottom one. I'm just going to touch her little fingertips with this one. Not very much, but just a teeny bit. That part's kind of folded over. And then I'm going to give her just a little bit of mark right here where her wrist bends and a little mark right here where her elbow would bend. Oh, you want me to do it like this so you can see me better? You think that'll be better? I'll try to pay attention to that. Linda's here. Linda's watching. Yes, she is. E11. Yes. Okay, so maybe this will help a little bit. E11. And we're just going to push that color back so it stays shadowed. Is that helping? Hello, Michelle. I was hoping you would find us. There we go. We missed the E04 down here on her feet because remember we prepped her little feet as well. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in. And then I'll go back to the E11 like this. Uh-oh, Dale's sitting in Jamie's chair again. That chair makes a lot of noise when you sit in it. E21. And this one's, I'm going to touch those little areas that I built in for her wrist and her elbow. Can they see what I'm doing? I'm trying really hard. I think this back arm doesn't really need the lightest color because it's totally shadowed by everything. Okay. So then it yes, that chair is very loud. It used to be the chair I used for my crafting, but then it got worn out, so I got a new one. E00 is our last color, so we're just going to fill in the rest of those spots that we're still showing and make sure those colors blend really well. There we go. So now we have some skin going on. Super happy about that. So next we're going to move on to hair. And before I actually color the hair, I'm going to use my C0. Yep, there it is. I'm going to use my C0 and I'm going to kind of sketch in how I want to do her hair to give her a ponytail. So I'm going to turn it a little bit this way so I can really do it. So about right here, I'm going to just put this little line because that'll be like her ponytail holder. And then I'm going to come out here and I'm just going to go really close to her head. And then I'm going to just come all the way out here and kind of just give her this little ponytail-ish thing. Then this one's going to come along here. It's going to curl up like that. So we're just going to have a little bit of this going on. So that kind of gives her a little bit of a ponytail while she's doing her laundry. So I sketched it in that way. If it wasn't exactly the way I wanted it, you won't be able to see it once I get to coloring. But I'm pretty happy with that. So we're going to stick with that. And now is the time when we can choose, like I'm going to give her red hair, a reddish brown hair, but we can choose what color we want to make the little ponytail holder now. So I am going to use a darker color because this part right here is black. And if I had stamped it in that no line coloring, you wouldn't be able to see it. But since I didn't, we need to do it in a darker color. So I'm going to use a purple color. I'm going to use V17. And I'm just going to color her little ponytail holder. It needs to go over the black line. So it needs to cover the black line and a little bit out from there. Just so it looks like it's truly on her head and not sticking off of her head. Dale, make him stop doing that. Yep, I wanted to give her a ponytail because so cute. So I'm going to use E49. And then I'm going to use E09, so this is going to be really dark brown, and then this is going to bring in some reddish color. And then E27 will tone it down, but it's still kind of a brown hinted towards red. And then we'll follow it up with E08, which is really says brown, but it's really reddish color. Hi, Laura. So those are the ones that we're going to do for her hair. So I'm going to start with E49. And I'm just going to start from the ponytail. Just going to kind of do this dark right here around the ponytail. And usually a ponytail will be pretty scrunched up right there. So I'm going to kind of come off of that ponytail like this. And then right above her ear, this part of her hair that's really low, I'm just going to do a couple of little flicks from there, or brush strokes as Jamie would call them. And then from this little part with her bangs, I want to bring some of that out as well. And then I'm also going to do right along her hairline. And then I'm going to do the other side. A little bit down here. Just a teeny bit, because I don't want that to show too much under her glasses. And then this little piece of hair that's right here, I'm just going to make that all dark. And now we have to build in that ponytail. So since we already have the base, that's helpful. I'm going to put just a little bit of a loop right there so it's bouncing off her head. And then I'm going to come down here and do that little swoop at the bottom. I am going to turn it around. I'm going to come off of here more at an angle than what I drew with the gray marker. And I can always change that if I want to. But I like it like that. It might need to go in just a little bit more. And then come around here. I want to give her that little swoop there. And then I'm just going to fill some of these in like this. And then we're going to meet right here. So this is just going to kind of push her ponytail back. And then we have to go in and put those little long strands of hair in there. It's going to come off like this. It's going to go down. And it's going to sweep back. So this part will come up a little bit. This part will be pretty dark. And then we need to have some really flicky ones at the end. So this will give us our base coat of what we want to do. I'm going to do a little bit more right here because it seems like it needs it. So that's our darkest color, and that puts some of our lines in her hair. I probably want to put a few more right here too. Just because I like it that way. And then we're going to go to our E09, which is also very, very dark. Hello, Laura. It's very, very dark, but it's more of a reddish color. So I'm going to start over here. You see how different that is? It's very, very reddish color. This is what's going to make her hair look more red. So I'm just doing some of those flicks, making sure that or brush strokes, making sure that I blend out those colors pretty good because they are pretty dark. I'm going to come with it on that side. And then I want to follow these same type of brush strokes that I put over here. And I want to keep them going in the direction of her ponytail. So I'm just going to keep going down her hair. And then I want to protect her ears, so I'm going to build that little wall there. The underside's going to be much darker, so just going to kind of go in between these to give it a little bit of color, a few of them out a little bit further. And now we have a little bit of ponytail going on here. There we go. She's going to have red hair. You loving it already? You love that already hair? This is one of my favorite hair colors. Hi, Heidi. Basically because I love red hair. Makes me super happy. My hair has a red base, and then I put purple over it, so I like purple hair too. And then I'm going to go in with E27, which is a much darker brown. It's not really red, but it mixes well with this E09. We're going to leave a little bit of space to bring that red back out. So I'm just kind of mixing these colors, doing the same direction that I did with the other ones, leaving a little bit of white so I can come in with this other color. So now it looks a little more brown than red, but watch what happens when I put this last E08 color in there. It's going to bring that red back. So this one is E08, and yes, I know it's called brown, but it doesn't really look brown when you put it with the red. So we're just going to do this back and forth motion to kind of fill in that area, and then it makes our hair look more red. So we're going to come down the side, and we're going to do a little bit of swooping motions back and forth on this part of her hair. Down here. You just don't want to touch her ear. And then she has a ponytail. And that's all there is to it. It's pretty easy. The wind's blowing it all up and everything. That's why she has it in a ponytail. But I wanted to show how cute these images are, even with when you change the hair. So now, it does change the image a lot. I think it does too. It really changes it, but I like it. It's super cute. So Jamie showed making a little bun, and I wanted to do the ponytail. So I'm going to make her shirt purple because her hair ribbon is purple, or her hair scrunchie, or whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to use V09, V17, V15, and V12. So we'll start with V. I know it does not. A messy bun. Yeah, we could try that. I know Jamie's was all nice and neat, but there's my slippery little suckers getting away from me again. Okay, so we're going to do her shirt in purple. So I'm going to start under here because this is my V09. I'm going to give shape to her body by just coming in a little bit on the shirt. And then I'm going to do under this arm because all of that would be shaded. I'm going to just come in a little bit right here to show some shape. And I'm going to give her purple slippers, like she's doing the laundry work in her slippers. So we're going to do those at the same time. I know they kind of look like shoes, but they kind of look like slippers. I know it really changes. It doesn't look like Jamie anymore, but she says she's going to grow her hair long, so it might look like her later. V17 is the next one. So we're just going to pull from those same areas where we put the last one and just extend a little bit. We're going to do the same here. Just extending out. This is going to be a really purple shirt. But I like it because I like purple. I love how these images, and you should see when we change the teenager boy and you do this, it changes it too a lot. And then you'd have a girl with no glasses because the teenage boys don't have any glasses on. Now this V15 is quite a different purple, so we want to get it in there and smooth it out, but we don't want to do it too much because it'll wash out our dark color, and we want to keep that shadow, that dark shadow color. So just be careful when you use the purple, the V15. So that's kind of filling it in. Both of those two. Okay, I'll work that into the agenda. But it makes it, you just know you have so much versatility when you can change them from boys to girls. V12. I'm sorry, my one V12 cap, it's hard to read. It's pretty old. So I'm going to do that swooshing back and forth. Again, this one is very light, so you have to be a little bit careful when you're going over the dark area not to wash it out too much. If you do, you can go back in with the other marker and fix it. But there we go. I got a nice good blend on that one. And then we're going to touch the tip of her shoes to show a little bit of light on the shoes. And I'm even going to do it on this one so you can see how that lightened it up. Hi, Mary. You will now. You'll think of it now. Yeah. Hello, hello. So now, I wish I could put shorts on her, but I'm not sure that would look good. We could try it, though, if you guys wanted to, but Then we'd have to color her legs, and that would be weird, so I don't really like that line on there. Maybe if we did her African American, we could do that, because then her skin tone would be much darker and would cover up the black. But since it won't, we're going to give her kind of an acid wash jeans, and I'll show you. I have a little bit of a different technique with that one, so I'll show you how to do that. So for the jeans, we're not going to go as dark as the B99 like Jamie does. We're just going to do B97, 95, 93, and then we're going to use W2. So it kind of is going to look like some stonewash jeans with the gray in it. So I'm going to start off with these. I'm going to give her a little bit of shape. I'm going to color down by her feet. I'm going to do this area right here where her leg crosses over. I don't usually do holy jeans. I'm just not good at it. It doesn't look as good as Jamie's when I do it, so I get a little discouraged when I try to do holy jeans. I like to wear them though. I like to wear holy jeans. But let's just say she is a mom and she is not wearing any holy jeans today because she's working and not going out. Okay, so we got a little bit of that dark blue in there. And then we're going to use this marker twice, B93. So we're going to use it now to blend out the blue and really get that filled in. So we want to make sure that that blue blends out. And we get pretty smooth lines in there. So this one I'm pressing on the paper a little bit heavier than I did the other ones to put a little bit more ink on there because I want to wet that paper pretty good for this next step. So it's not completely smoothed out. You can see some white area in there shining through. And that's when we're going to take this W2. And this is that warm gray. And we're just going to run it along the center part of her jeans, like on her leg. And it's going to really lighten up the pants. It's going to give it that acid wash look. And then we come back in again with the B93 to kind of darken that up a little bit. We may have to use the 95 as well, but we'll see. Depending on how dark you want her jeans to be. But this will just be enough to make them appear to have that acid wash look to them. So I'm going to come one more time with this gray one with quick little swoosh back and forth to smooth out that brown and that gray. And then she's going to have acid wash jeans. So you can use as little or as much of that gray. And if you use a bigger color combo, like a 7-color combo, and you mix the grays in between the B's, you'll get a deeper, darker acid wash look. But we're just doing it light today. So that's that one. And now we have a whole lot of laundry in here to color. So I think I'm going to do the basket first. And I'm gonna try to do it so that you can see through the basket. You know how these baskets are, they have holes in the center of them. So we're gonna do the basket first and leave some openings in the holes so we can put some colors in it so it looks like you can see through the basket. Yes, the W2 I put in the light area. That's correct. I did. And I'm going to do the laundry basket in E37, 35, 34, and 31. So we'll start with the 37. And this is where we'll get the deep lines for the crosses in between. So we're going to do it like this. I'm going to do the line underneath where the artist drew the line. Go along the bottom and do the same thing with this one. I'm going underneath. I want to stay consistent with each one on where I put that shadow. Got it a little bit thick there, but we'll fix that with the colorless blender in a little bit when the whole thing dries a little bit. Up the side and then all the way on this one. Keeping that darkness underneath the line. You can do it over or under, it doesn't matter, but whatever you do, stay consistent with it.
Is this a technique similar to your waffle cone?
It is a little bit similar to the waffle cone, yes. I'm going to do this side as well, but I'm going to do this side right under the line and not very thick. I want it to be pretty light because I don't want to fill in these squares too far because I want to leave some opening like a see-through. I am going to come up this side because I want to show it that it looks like it's a little rounded. So it doesn't look special right now, but we're hoping it's gonna when we get done. So I'm gonna use 35 next. And I'm just gonna touch along where I put that ink and just out a little bit further, not much. I want to leave, some of the squares will get filled in, but most of them will not. So just still keeping it really close because this is a small space to work with, so we want to be really cautious. And I may skip the next color because it is so small of a space. Just kind of filling in that basket. You know, we all had these kind of baskets when we were little. Our moms did. My mom did. Those see-through baskets. So let's skip to the E31. Let's not do the E34 yet. Let's see if we can get away with this without. So E31 is next, and I'm just going to blend those little areas. Now it looks like it's just filling in all of that, but it's not. I'm leaving a little bit of white space, and this color is so light that you can still see through it. So I'm just kind of doing the little squares just to blend out those colors a little bit. It'll all make sense when I'm done with it. Right now it sounds a little crazy, but I promise it'll come together. At least I hope it will. If not, it's just paper and we're just playing. We're just having a little bit of fun. Oops, I missed a square right here. Okay, so let me hold that up close. Hi, Renska, so you can see some of the squares I left open because we want to put colors in there to make it look like you can see the laundry through the laundry basket. Hi, Renska, long time no talk. I hope all is well. Okay, so let's start doing some colors on the clothes. So I am going to do some orange first. And I'm going to just use 2 colors. So I'm going to use YR68 and 65 for orange. So YR68 and 65. I'm going to pick 3 colors right now and then we'll go from there. I'm going to pick R29 and 24. And I'm going to pick a blue now. So I'm going to do B26 and 23. So that's going to give us 3 colors, and we're going to make more than one. I'm so glad you did too. I'm here every night at 10 p.m. Monday through Friday. So jump in whenever you can. We always do something different. So YR68, we're just going to choose some clothes in here. I think I'm going to choose this one closest to her. I don't know what these are. A shirt, pants, I have no idea, but we know they're orange. So I'm going to put some orange down in here as well. And maybe even the top of that one. So it looks like we have some orange laundry going on there. Okay, so then we need our YR65. So we're just going to finish filling this in. First we're going to smooth out our lines, and then we're going to fill it in. And then I'm just going to smooth around here too. Okay. So now I think I'm just going to leave the cap off because I'm only going to do a little bit. I'm going back to YR68, and I'm going to do a little bit down in here. And here. And these corners, because I want you to be able to see that orange down in the basket as well. I'm only going to do 2 of each one. So this one will kind of fill that out a little bit more. Kind of show that orange color in the basket. And then we're going to do red. So we're going to start with R29. And we can probably do 2 pieces of clothing at the same time for this one. So I'm going to put this one over here. So the part that's furthest away is going to be the darker shadow area. So just a little bit there. And then I'm going to put a little bit of red down here so it looks like there's something down here in the basket that's red. And then R24. Oh, we're going to use Jamie size colors tonight because we're going to have a lot of colors. So R24, we're going to pull out from where the darkest shade was. I'm going to lighten it up a little bit. Now we could have just made these all white and said it was a white load of laundry. But what fun is that? Okay, so that's red. And then blue, I might put a few more blue in there. Oh, that's the light blue. We need the dark blue first. So the dark blue is the B26. So I want to use that one first. And I'm going to put that right here next to the orange. So shadowing this area right here. And underneath this shirt or pants or whatever it is. And then we're going to put some blue next to these red and orange. I don't really want to put too much because this is a really dark blue. Oops, I just put the wrong cap on that marker. Now that'll really mess you up on a bad day. Okay, here's our B23. So I'm going to fill this in. I am kind of going over just a little bit right over that brown. just to make it all blend together really well. And then filling in that blue. So look, we're starting to get our laundry basket full. So now I'm going to pull in some green. I'm going to use the YG17 and YG11. And then I'm going to do some purple. But I'm just going to do V15 and 17 so it'll look different than her shirt. And then let's do some teal. How about some B06 and 02? 06 and 02. And this should finish up our basket. So I am going to put the teal one right here. So I'm going to make this one green. This is my YG17, so it's like a yellow green. I'm also going to put one right here that's yellow green. So like she really likes green clothes. So we're going to put some here. And it's going to go to the bottom of the basket. And maybe we'll make this one show through a little bit further too. Help fill that in a little bit. Mama's doing good. She's in Pennsylvania right now. This is my YG11. Just kind of blending out that color. I'm going to blend out this color as well. We have V15. And that's going to be this one purple. So it's going to be similar to the shirt she's wearing, but not quite as dark. And then we're going to do some purple over here up against this orange. Right there. And we'll do some over here because this girl likes purple like me. So she has a lot of purple laundry. V12 is next to finish that off. And then here as well. And here as well. I'm back! I am back. So now we're going to use B06, which is more of a teal peacock blue, I guess is what they call it. And I'm going to do this shirt up here in the peacock blue. So just the shadow areas where her hands are holding the shirt. Like that. And B02. And maybe I'll put a few, you know how when your laundry's wet, there's some darker like areas in your shirt? So I'm going to put in some darker blues so when we mix it up, mix them together. Hi, Angela. We're going to use B02 to mesh this together. And usually shirts that are wet are darker in some spots than others. So that's what we're leaving this shirt with. We may need a little in-between color. Or we could just do tip to tip. Let's do that. So this was our B06. And we're just going to take our B02 and we're going to rub it along the tip. And it will help us blend out this darker color here. Just to make that match. So if you ever have two colors, they don't match up, you don't have the color in between, you can go in with this color and just pick up some of this, and when you're done, just take a blank piece of paper and just rub your marker on it to make sure you got all that dark off and you're all good. So we're also going to put some teal laundry in the basket right here. Uh-oh, we missed one, so we might as well make that one teal too. Right here. And it's hanging out of the basket. And then our BO2. It is so small, but it looks so cute when you can see through it. Now you can just color, if you feel more comfortable, you can just color the basket brown. But I thought it would be fun to show what it looks like when you can see the laundry through the basket. So it looks like this. So she looks like she has a whole basket full of laundry. All different colors. She did her darks today. Her colors. So we didn't put any white in there because we don't actually wash our whites with our colors. Well, most of us don't. It is kind of realistic, huh? Super exciting, although we're using a ton of markers here. So, okay, let me get those out of the way. So now what we're going to do is we're going to build the background behind her. So she's in the backyard. This is my story, and I'm sticking to it. She's in the backyard. And so I'm going to have to build her a scene. Thank you. And I'm going to use the C0 like I usually do to build that scene. Just in case I don't like what I can do, I can fix it. So I am going to have her doing her laundry with the strings hanging on trees. So I wasn't 100% happy with my trees the last time, so I said we are going to do trees again. So these trees are in her backyard. She's got one on each side, so it's in the perfect spot to do her laundry. So I'm going to go ahead and go off of here and give it some branches. And this time I'm going to do my branches, you know, just a little bit different than I did last time. Last time I gave them a little bit thicker branches, and this time I want them to, you know, just kind of really blend in with, so I'm just going to do lines for my branches for now, but these are just sketched in. We can change them all we want when we get to them, but we're also going to put leaves on them. So that just kind of gives me an idea of where I want my branches to go. I want them to kind of go over like they're shading her a little bit while she's doing her laundry, so she doesn't mind going outside. You live in Texas, you know you want some shade when you're doing some housework outside. So just some branches off each other, just kind of drawing that tree out. Okay, so now we have some kind of a scene of a tree. And I want to build, I'm going to use a ruler just because I want to get my lines fairly straight. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this Tim Holtz mat that I got going on here. Just to get my fence going on. I want to draw a fence back there. So I'm going to put this fence, the bottom of the fence on here. So I want to use these lines to get a straight bottom of the fence. Okay, so I'm just going to go from the tree across her. And this is going to be the bottom of my fence. And then I want the fence to have like those pickets that go like that, you know, up and down like that. So what I'm going to do is turn it to the side. And I'm just going to put these lines in here as straight as I can, or at least close. So I'm going to just put one here, and then I'm going to move it a little bit, and I'm going to put one here. Oops, I missed that one. Hold on. Hold please. Go back. One here. When I freehand this, I got some big pickets and some small pickets, and it looked silly, so They're a little bit easier if you put the pickets in than if you try to do some kind of diagonal stuff. So we're just putting some in here just to keep this consistency. I bet you guys are wondering, oh my gosh, how is she going to put her laundry on if the picket fence is in the way? But just bear with me. We'll get this. We'll get there. All right, almost done. There we go. So now we have like where our picket fence would be, and then all I have to do is build these pickets in there. So they don't have to be perfect, literally just as long as we have some. And if it goes over, it's okay, because this is light enough. When I put the sky in there, you're not going to be able to see it. So I'm just kind of eyeballing this. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's a handwork of art. So there we go. That's somewhat of a picket fence. There you go. That's how we do that. And it's going to be a very light fence. So what we're going to do after that, I'm going to make this a little bit lower. What we're going to do once we get some of this colored in, thanks so much, Rinska. And once we get some of this colored in, that's when we'll draw the laundry lines from the tree to tree. And then all of this will be grass. And this will be sky and leaves. So that's what we're going to do. This gives me the idea of what I want the backyard to be by putting the foundation in it with the C0, which is what I usually use. 0, 0 is too light for me to see. I can't see it when I use it. So I always use C0 for that, but you can use whatever works for you. So I want the fence to be pretty light. Hi, Angela. I want the fence to be pretty light. So I chose to go with more of a wood whitewash color. So I'm going to use E43 because there'll be a lot of brown in this picture. So I want the fence to be a little bit lighter. E42, 41, and then I'm going to throw in this E81 ivory to give it just that little bit of different look to it. So we're going to start by building this fence out with our E43. Ooh, I hope it's going to be fantastic. That is the plan. So I'm going to kind of follow these lines, making this fence pretty secure. I decided I wanted this one to go off like you can't see the rest of the fence. So I changed that one a little bit, but you won't be able to tell when I get done. The one thing I want to do though is keep this pretty smooth across the bottom. So I think I'm going to go ahead and pattern that in first, because I want to make sure I keep that pretty smooth and pretty straight along the bottom. But if we mess up, we can just make more grass. Thank you. We can just put grass over it and then no one will be able to tell. So, you know, there's always a fix for everything. So I'm going to go from this picket fence to this one. So we're just going picket to picket. So we're just going to draw this in there. So those who are joining a little bit later, we went ahead and stamped her on here. I kind of envisioned in my head, what am I going to do with this one? Oh, I'm going to build her a backyard. So I stuck her over here, and then that gave me all this room to work with, and I put the sentiment at the bottom. So we're just going to keep building out from here. We're just really building the basis for the fence. So from picket to picket. And then I'll start doing a little bit of shadowing. But I want to go ahead, I don't want to do each picket at a time. I want to make sure I have them pretty good to the same shape while I'm going along. It won't be perfect, but that's okay. Nobody has to be perfect. So you can just try this even before you stamp something on it. You can just practice like trying to do a background. You could do it just by itself and then cut out a girl and stick her on there. if you're afraid to do it with the image on it. So, but I mean, you know, as we always say when we do these, I've never done this before. I've never built a fence and done a backyard. I am just winging it. And if it doesn't work, I'll cut this little girl out and stick her on a pattern paper. So we'll see. Hopefully it'll pan out. But you just never know. But you won't know unless you try. I'm not going to do the line here because I'm going to build that line with the tree. And this picket fence is not the full picket, so I don't want to build that in. So I'm just going to do it like that. And I'll probably move the tree out just a little bit so it doesn't look like that picket is too big. So now that I have them in there, what I want to do is I want to get some lines in here on this fence. So I'm going to just do some scattered lines just to kind of, they're not going to be smooth or in the same place. They're just kind of random lines, wood lines in there. We're just going to do that. We'll do that with a few of the colors just to kind of build in that wood look. So that's what we're doing first, is just building in some texture here. Kind of random, not all the same length or anything like that. I'm putting about 4 or 5 of them in there, just wherever I feel like it. All wood looks different. All of them are different. So it doesn't matter. Some can be thicker, some can be skinnier, fatter. It doesn't matter. Because we're going to blend these out anyway, so it's not really going to matter. We're just putting that faint wood look to it. So that was with our E43. Now we're going to go in with our E42. And what we're going to do is we want the base to be thicker, so we're going to kind of play around with this base area right here, going up where the pickets meet. Now we want to be careful when we go around her hair, so I'm going to build this little wall right here so we don't mess up her hair. I'm just going to build that gentle wall around her head. And then we'll do our brush strokes from the little wall area. So we're just smoothing out some of these lines, making these deeper colors in here. Some of them I'm going all the way up the line that I drew, and some of them I'm not, but I am doing it for the in-between pickets. So just kind of smoothing those out. I'm picking a few at the top to go down on, just to put some different color in there. Coming back to this. Just building out from here. So it looks a little funny right now. I think we need one more dark one over here, since we have some and not all. But I am touching the bottom on all the way across. And up and down the middle of the picket fences. So if you build a really big background, then you have to do this a lot. But we just have a little piece of the fence, so we're good. I did go out just a little bit here, but we can either fix that with the colorless blender, or we can cover it with grass. This, we're going to put grass in the yard, so either way, we'll just see how it goes and we'll go from there. Okay, so now we have almost getting there. I'm going to go a little bit heavier with the next color. It's E41. It's the third in the 4-color combo. So and the next color is going to kind of wash out our color. So I'm going to do a little heavier with this one, just to kind of fill in those pickets a bit more. Kind of give us some consistency there. Using this one to soften some of those really harsh lines I have in there, like this one. Just kind of softening those lines, starting to look a little bit more like a fence. We may have to go back in with some of the other colors, but we'll see. We'll do what we got to do to make it look really good. Some spots I'm pressing a little harder on the marker than others so that the color is a little bit darker in some spots and thicker on the paper than others. Some I'm just barely brushing the paper. So this is lighter right here. This is a bit darker. Just kind of giving us some little different texture. So we're just building in this fence. We're almost done. Shouldn't take too long. We're going to kind of go over just the whole thing with our last color and see how well it blends it out. And if we need to, we may need to go in with the dark color and really bring out some of those lines again, like the ones in between on the picket fence. But I won't know until I get done with this part. Hi, Amy. We're building a backyard scene tonight. Okay, so let's go real quick back to E43. Because when I do the last step, I want to have all the dark colors in there. So I'm going to go back in with E43. I'm going to kind of build this middle area because I really want that to stand out a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and put that in again. I'm not going to go around the top or the bottom. I just want to accent those in between pickets one more time before I lighten them up too much. That way they don't look like one big wall. They look like picket fences. Ah, thank you. Thanks, guys. Thanks for all the encouraging words. That makes me feel better because I really am winging this. But it's fun. It's fun to do this because you see this whole thing starts to come to life in front of you when you start with a plain piece of paper. So this one's E81. This one is going to have a little bit different tone and color than the other one did. So I am really going to use this side of it and just kind of wash through all of them, all of the pickets in a real fast manner because I don't want to go over those middle sections either. So I'm just kind of washing in this color. It changes the fence a little bit. It kind of brings it all together. So I'm using this side. You can use whichever side you want. This one just works it a little faster. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is a whitewash fence. I like it. So good so far. There we go. So now we have a picket fence. So yay! Okay. So we have the picket fence taken care of. Now we're going to work on the trees and then the grass. So for the tree trunks, or whatever you call that, I decided to do E29, E27, 25, and 23. And if it gets to looking a little bit darker than I want, I'll throw in E21, but I'm not sure if I'll do that or not. Can I repeat these colors or these colors? So the ones that I just used were E43, 42, 41, and then we repeated 43, and then we did 81. So those are the colors. Now, if you need the colors or forget or can't find your sheet you wrote them on or whatever, I am going to post this to YouTube so you can watch the replay of it. And I always post the colors that I used in the description. So if you ever miss a color, you can always go back to the YouTube video. I usually upload it before I go to bed, so it's on YouTube right after we do it. And this set is E29, 27, 25, 23, and 21. They all kind of go in a group. So E29, this is where we're going to bingo. This is where we're going to build in the edge of the trunk of our tree. So I'm just going along those little gray areas that I put in here already. I'm going to actually widen this tree a little bit. Because remember, we want it to go more like the fence, like that. So the fence now looks like a better size. And then I'm going to go out with these branches here. And I'm just going to hold the marker down so they get a little bit thicker. I'm just going to build some branches. And they don't have to be anything spectacular. But we just want to have some kind of branches in there. For now. And they don't have to all like go together, but we're just going to put a few branches out there. So they're not any kind of yes, YouTube video, that's right. So these are a little thicker out here because we want to see those more. These are going to be a little more hidden. We don't want to see them as much. So I'm going to make this tree trunk a little bit thicker. I'm going to kind of lay down on the side of my marker a little bit just to get it a little bit thicker trunk. And then I'm going to put some tree things on here, and you can also do like these little, like if you want the tree to have a little bit of circle to it, you could even put somebody's initials in it if you really wanted to. Kind of up to you and how you want your tree to look. You could put a hole in it for a bird or whatever, squirrel, whatever you want. So that's one side. We'll fill that in and work on that in a little bit, but I want to go ahead and build in this tree. So I'm going to do the same thing, just starting. I'm going to turn this upside down so I can do my brush strokes a little bit easier coming this way. Okay, once I get that in there, I'm going to do the branches. So we're just going to branch off. These branches are almost going to meet over here, but the leaves probably will. And then a few in here, just kind of getting a little bit of this branch stuff going on. And then we're going to come down here and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to build in this area here. Some short, some long. You could do some like that if you wanted to have like little marks on the tree. You never know what a tree is going to look like. So there we go. We have two tree foundations. Oh, what's the YouTube? It is Sweet Sentiment. The YouTube is Sweet Sentiment. You can just search for Sweet Sentiment and it's on there. Okay, we're going to use E27, but I don't want to use too much of this one because it's still dark. I want my trees to be a little bit lighter, but that's, you know, that's personal preference. But I need to get a few more lines in here. I'm going to make them a little bit longer. kind of barely touching the paper. So I want those lines to be really, really light. Okay. And I told you we weren't going to do too many, so that's about all we're going to put in there. And then we're going to do this side. So just filling in a little bit more, but we don't want to fill it all the way in. So we're just giving it a few brush strokes in here, like that. So now we have basic tree trunks. We're going to keep building those out. So the next color is E25. It's the third one in the color combo, so we are going to put a little bit more of this one. So down here, I'm going to do my brush strokes going this way because I'm going to kind of make this look more like the bottom of the tree, but we'll put grass over this, so it won't really matter, but I'm going to do them this way because it'll look like roots and it won't meet all in the same spot. I'm going to try to build that one out because I don't like it. So now I'm going to put some longer, thicker stuff going on in here. I want to blend out this side of the tree trunk a little bit more, so I'm going to spend some time working on that. I kind of want to leave this little swoopy stuff in here, so I'm going to thicken that up a little bit. I'm going to go along the side of the paper. I might go off the paper, but that's okay because I have my Tim Holtz mat to save me. I am going to go on these branches a little bit more. I'm going to thicken a few of them up with a lighter color. Kind of make them look a little more tree branchy. Is that a word, tree branchy? I don't know, but it's a new word tonight. Just kind of filling this out. We'll fill this in with leaves here a little bit later on. So it won't really matter that much. But there we go. So we'll smooth that out with the next colors, but for right now, that's exactly what I want it to be. I know sometimes when I start getting in this, you guys are like, oh my, that looks crazy. But in the end, it comes together, so you can't complain about that. Kind of doing just some skinny, some thick. Give me some brush strokes in here. I keep forgetting we're doing the whole paper, and I got to keep it in the view so you guys can see it. Okay, we want to thicken these, smooth these out a little bit because we put those in there. We need them to look a little bit lighter in some spots. Kind of blend those out, makes them look a little more like tree branches. I kind of like them with the two colors on them. About the mat, why is there a white on the side? Anyone can tell me this. Oh yeah, because this is where you put your, like there's a whole grid right here, and this is where you put like your media stuff. So if you wanted to just put alcohol inks and pick them up over here and use them on your project, this is the side of the mat that you do that on. That's why it's separated like that. For mixed media stuff. I use it sometimes with my oxides, like if I don't want to like use the brush on everything, I'll just stamp it on straight onto here and then pick it up from here and do it, and it gives you just a different shading. So there's quite a few things you can do with that. But then it just wipes off and cleans up really fast. So that's why I like it so much. E23 is the next color. This is a hazelnut color, and this one is going to lighten just a little bit. So I'm going to do this bottom part again, sort of fast. And start going up the tree. And do this a little bit fast too. I'm going down the tree now. Kind of swoopy motion to sort of fill that in. And now it looks a little bit more like a tree. Yeah, 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 really. It's pretty neat. But it's that Tim Holtz, it's the Tim Holtz mixed media map. But I don't know if I've said this on a live before, but I'm telling you, coloring on glass, it just makes a difference. I love to color on the glass. So I have a Tim Holtz travel map too. So when I'm going somewhere else and I'm going to color, I'm always taking my Tim Holtz mat with me so I have something to color on. And I really like it. Coloring on the glass mat was a game changer for me. I don't know what it is about the glass mat that from a piece of paper or something, but I like it way better. Okay, so I am going to use the E21. That's the last color, but it's going to blend and lighten. So when I go over this, it's just really going to put these colors together and make them look really good. And then the light areas will be just a little bit lighter because it'll wash out a little bit of the ink. So I am using the back and forth motion. These trees are better than the last trees I did, I think. I feel much better about these trees. So I'm just doing a little bit down here. I want it to kind of wash out a little bit so it looks like it's in the ground. It will look better when we put the grass in, but for now, it's doing well. So this kind of changes the color of the tree. It lightens it up a little bit. Somebody told you that. I do like coloring on the glass. It really is a big difference to me. I was surprised that I felt that way. And, you know, I don't have any benefit from advertising for Tim Holtz, but I like it. It makes me happy to color on the... So this is why I knew the trees would be so brown, and that's why I wanted the fence to be a different color so there wouldn't be too much brown going on in this scene. So this Tim Holtz glass mat I leave on my desk all the time because I like to color on the glass mat. I don't know what it is about it, but it just, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it makes the coloring easier for me. So I always do it on the glass mat. Plus, it's a mixed media mat, so it just wipes right off when you're done using your mixed media on it. So kind of a bonus all the way around. So if it was fall time, it's not. It's spring, so our leaves are going to be nice, bright green. We're going to start out with the G99. We're going to go 94, YG25, which has got a yellow in it, so it's going to be real bright, and YG03. So I think I actually want to do these in reverse, but it's going to be really bright green leaves. So if it was fall, I'd add in some brown, some yellow, red, YR colors that would make it look like it's fall. So I'm going to start making the leaves, and I'm just going to touch this marker around on the areas where I want the leaves to be. And we're going to build this out. It's going to take a little bit, but if we just keep going, it's going to fill all of that into leaves, and you're going to have all these leaves in your tree. So you can just put them wherever you want. We're going to use 4 colors, so we're going to use a pretty good amount of them, but then we're going to fill it in with 4 colors, so we should be good. This is my favorite technique, because doesn't that look like a leaf? I love it. See? Yeah, you'll have to check out that mat. It's really cool. I have 2 of them. I have the travel one, and then I have this one that stays on my desk all the time. And when I'm not coloring at my desk, I have the glass mat with me. Everywhere else. I even take it with me when I go to crops or meetups or... So I'm just filling these in all over the place in different positions just so they look different and so they look random. And over here, since we don't really have branches, we're just going to kind of fill this in a little bit thicker than where we did over there because we want this to be a little bit darker. because it's the body of the tree. So I'm going to put a few more of these in here. The ones on the outside out here are going to have lighter colors. So that kind of gives us the base. Yes, there is a travel one. This is the full-size one, and then the travel one is smaller, but it still has the white on it for using your mixed media. So I'm going to try to do these just a little bit faster now that I feel a little more comfortable. I wish I could tell you exactly what it is that makes it better to color on glass. I am not sure what it is. But I love it. It made a difference for me. It made it smoother. It made it easier. I didn't have to worry about like any of the paper underneath. It doesn't absorb any of the paper that might, or the ink that might come through. I don't know what it is. I wish I knew, but I don't. I just know I love it. What'd you say? Non-porous hard surface?
Yeah. So you don't get any, like you said, if you're doing on a soft surface, you're going to get subsurface impression.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys can hear my husband, but he said because it's a non-porous surface, so you don't get any impressions from anything else. You don't have to worry about it bending or moving. You know, it doesn't have any give, so you can't mess up what you're doing. Because I know I used to use one of those, because I used to color in the living room all the time. So I used to use one of those, one of those clipboard things. And I used to use them all the time. And sometimes I would have problems with it giving a little, and then it just would mess up whatever I was doing. See, Mickey, you feel the same way. Yeah, it's just great. I love using it that way. So if you have the opportunity to get one, you can even try the travel size. I mean, I got the travel size first, but then I decided I wanted the big one on my desk for when I do mixed media and when I color. So I used to hate coloring at my desk till I had the Tim Holtz matte on there. So this color, we're going to fill in a little bit more, but this color is lighter, so you'll be able to see the difference. So we're just filling in more leaves all over, anywhere, randomly. So you'll start to see this really fill in and look like a tree's leaves, and the tree has lots of leaves for summer, spring. It's blossoming well. And if I mark off my page right onto the glass mat, it just wipes off with like a baby wipe or that alcohol that you can just get at the store. Alcohol swabs or little, gosh, what do they call them? Like little gauze things that have alcohol on them. You can use that. But it cleans up really easy, and I don't have to worry about going off my page or anything like that. It does easily wipe off. I love it. Easy to maneuver your coloring page. That's very true. That's very, very true. It's big enough. It takes a lot of space, so it gives you a lot of room to work on. It's just, I love it. I just really do love it. I've been a fan of coloring on this glass mat for a while now. If I go somewhere and I don't have it, oh, I'm sad. Okay, so filling in a little bit more of that. All right, so now we have two colors in there. Now we're going to start putting in the really bright. Yes, that is, I use mine when I clean my markers as well, and if I spill anything or overflow anything or drip anything. Of course, I haven't done that much since I got the refill station, but I haven't had any issues with spilling, but before I used to do it sometimes. So I like, it's a lot easier for me. So now I'm putting in some of this brighter green. So you can see that it's a little bit brighter. It's kind of filling out my picture, giving me a little bit more color variation. Looks like a whole lot of leaves on there. I'm really liking it. Don't press really hard. You don't want to break the nib or, you know, break down the fibers. You just barely have to touch it. You can practice on a paper before you get started on an actual tree, but it's not difficult to do this, and you don't have to press hard. So now this side. The key is it looks more like a leaf if you point the marker at the branch when you do it than it does if you do it the other way. So on each side of the branch, you see me moving the marker back and forth because I want to have it going in the right direction so it looks like it's stuck to the branch. So that's why I'm moving it back and forth depending on which way the branch is. And it really fills in and gives you such a nice tree. And then over here, I'm just filling in some of the empty spaces. Okay, we have one more color and then we're going to be done with the tree part. So coming right along, and then we got grass and a little bit of sky. Ooh, slippery little suckers. I keep throwing these cats. Tonight's a slippery night. Okay, so this one I'm going to do just a little bit faster because I'm kind of using this lightest color to sort of fill in all those empty white spaces. I'm going to do this side out a little bit. I want them to almost meet. Like these trees are almost going to meet, but not quite. And now I'm using this one to really just pat in the color where it's missing color in the trees so that it looks more full and less. I might leave little specks away like here and there and there. They're teeny tiny spaces, but I don't want to leave these really big open spaces. We could if we wanted to put blue behind it for the sky, but if we were going to do that, we should have put the blue before we started on the leaves. And I did not do that, so we're just going to fill it in. Okay, so now we have trees. And next step, grass. So I want to use a different color for grass because I want the grass to look different from the trees. So I have chosen YG67, YG17, YG13, YG11. So this time what I'm going to do is start with the YG11 to wet the paper before I start with all the, you like it? Before I start with all the little blades of grass. So I'm going to start by just putting this green down. It's really, really light, but I promise the other colors are dark enough that it'll be fine. And it doesn't have to be smooth, it just has to be in there. So this little part's here, like behind her glasses. I'm going to use the brush nib because I don't want to get too close and color green over her body and make her sick. So I'm just putting that base coat because when I start doing all of those blades of grass, I need to have this base coat in here. Wetting the paper and so I don't have any white showing behind. And I'm going to do this little spot between her hair. But when I do that, I'm going to wipe it on here just to make sure I didn't pick up any brown. Because it's easy to pick up the brown and you do not want to put brown all over your grass. So wherever it's thick, like in here, once I touch that a few times, if you see how I had picked up a little bit of brown on that? If I hadn't wiped it over here, I'd have wiped brown right through my picture. So whenever you touch anywhere that has a little bit of a thick, dark color, you'll want to wipe off the marker just to make sure you don't put any in your grass. Building that wall around the girl, because I don't want to get that in there. Let me do this a little bit faster. Kind of just... It's going to be darker grass. Hold on. This is just the base coat underneath. It's going to be bright though because it's springtime, but it is going to have some darker in it. We're just putting the base coat down here. Some people might just put this green in and be done, but we're not. We got a job to do here on our grass. Just gonna go up on those trees a little bit. We'll kind of mesh that in. Whoops. I'm gonna go over here, over these trees a little bit with this green. I want to make sure I didn't pick up brown. It's okay while you're over the brown, but I don't want to bring the brown. I'm not prepared to go over the words yet because I'm not sure exactly if I want to leave them white in the background or if I want to make them green as well. So I'm not going to do them yet, but I may go back in with this color at the end. It just depends. Sometimes we just wing it as we go and decide as we're going what we want to do with it. So this gives me a base coat of green. I will use this color again, but now we're going to go to YG67, which is a much, much darker green. And this is where we're going to start doing these little grass things. So I'm really just doing these brush strokes up. Some of them are going, you know, straight. Some of them are going in little things. And then sometimes they're just going straight like this. So they're kind of random, but you want to just keep doing. Her grass is a little big, a little tall right now. She got weeds. And then we'll just build from there. So this is just the base layer of the grass. We have 2 more colors to go. And so we're filling it in, but not completely. Now we're just going to keep going. It's not really going to matter where your little brush strokes are. So they're kind of random. Gotta get some littler ones in here. And honestly, with grass, it really doesn't matter exactly where your little strands of grass are. As long as you got them in there, they're all kind of going in the same basic direction, you're good. I'm going to put a little bit over this tree trunk. So this tree's in here, but we can't really see all of those lines that we did. So we're kind of building that out. I am going to come down here. But I'm only going to go around this. I am going to do down here, but I'm not going to go through those words. And bear with me, I know this grass looks really random and not all that good, but trust me, when we get done, it'll look way different. She's going to say, hubby, can you get out there and mow that lawn for me? And she goes inside. The grass is getting long. Yeah, exactly. It kind of does look a little bit like our backyard. Except the fence is lighter than what our backyard fence is, but still just the same. Okay, so over here, I'm gonna start building this in. So this takes a little bit, but the longer you take and the more careful you are and consistent you are, and you don't get lazy and start just swooping stuff in there, the better it'll look. Trust me, I sometimes tend to catch myself getting lazier with my, once I have so much stuff to fill in, but we can always go back in and add more if we want to smooth out certain areas. So we'll just keep doing these and then go back in if we need to. It's spring, the grass is growing fast. I don't want to put any of these over her legs because I want her to be standing in front of it, but in front of her feet it doesn't matter because she really is standing in the grass. Okay, we're getting there. Looks a little funny. We're not done yet. No judgments yet. I try not to stay in the same line. I don't want to have like a line of grass, so I am trying to do this very scattered and very random. And the more colors we put in there, the better they're going to look. If you try to keep them in a straight line, you'll just drive yourself crazy. And even then, grass, you probably won't get it perfectly straight, and then you'll feel like, oh my gosh, my husband mowed the lawn wrong, messed up the yard. Better call a guy to come do it. My husband mows our yard, but he does good. But we do call somebody else to come and trim our trees so they look gorgeous like these trees. Okay, so that was the darkest color. We really needed to get that in there pretty good. So now we're going to move to YG17. And we're not going to go over the exact same lines, but we're going to use the same process, starting now to fill in some of the empty spaces. Some little flicks or brush strokes, Janie would call. Kind of trying to do some of the spots that weren't filled in so much to sort of fill this in a little bit more. And now you can tell that it doesn't really matter which direction I did each one of those strokes, because you can't really tell. Once you start layering these up, you can't really tell what you did underneath. As long as they're crisscrossing like blades of grass do, it'll start filling in and looking more like grass. So you can kind of see how much better it started to look, filling in the grass. I am going to do a little bit around this tree because I really want that to look like the tree is in front of the grass. Are you guys mesmerized? Am I putting you to sleep with blades of grass? Huh? Oh, sorry. I got stuck doing this. So, you guys still hanging out? Anybody trying grass with me? Oh, that didn't sound too good. Practicing grass, you know, you could grab some paper and practice, practice, practice. This is meditative for sure. Right here, you could practice grass all night long. And you feel kind of crazy when you're doing the first color because you're like, does not look like grass. And then as you start filling it in, you're like, wow, that really does look like grass. Filling in a large space with grass can take a while. I'm trying to speed this up just a little bit because it's, you know, this was a video I'd be speeding it up because I'd be like, woo, nobody wants me to do 5,000 blades of grass. Okay, we're almost done with this color. The next color, we don't do quite as many as the first two colors, but it will bring out that background color that we put in there, which was that YG11. But this is just filling in some of those spaces. We have one more color that'll be light as well. And it will really help with that as well. I said as well twice. But you guys know what I meant. I know that you do. Okay, we got to get some of this lighter green in here at the bottom. Otherwise it looks funny. Well, we didn't go over here either. So we have to get this done. All right, almost there. We're almost there. Woohoo! All right, that color's done. I know it does look like you almost like you wouldn't need it, but the third color is going to be like lighter. I probably won't go back over it with the YG11, but this one will add just a little bit of brightness to it. So I'm just going to kind of go in and fill in some of the really light spots, but this one is not as much. It's much bigger strokes and bigger. It's just kind of filling in that grass. So up here where it's really, really light, I want to get some of that filled in so it doesn't look so much like white. So it really helps, I think, blend the blades of grass together. Hi, Lee. So, and I want it to be a little bit thicker up here by the fence, so I'm just kind of filling that in a little bit more. But sometimes it just takes playing with it to decide what you like best. I mean, some people might like it better without adding this color to it, but I kind of like this color added to it as well. It kind of just brings it all together. Makes the grass a little deeper, kind of fills in the space and really... Hi, Julie. You did. We did trees again, and look, I love how they came out this time. There, I feel better. So the more you do it, the more you like it. So we're finishing off our grass real quick. Just putting some darker color in there because I think is too much contrast over here. I like this way better than this. But I don't know, what do you guys think? Did you like it better before I added this color or after? Curious minds want to know. I won't add the other one because I think I like it like this. I think I like it. Texas grass, big blades. You like it after? Okay, good. Good, then I made the right choice. Sometimes it's hard to tell and you just don't know until you try it to see what you like better. That's what practice is all about. Just practice it, see what you think. Do a small section. If you don't like it, put something over it. Put a butterfly or something over it, cover it up, and then you won't have to do the rest of it. So just kind of your choice in the matter. Almost done. I'm not going to go back in with the last color because I'm happy with this one like this. So I like that we started with that because it layered up that really light color. So I'm really glad we started with that instead of just starting with the strokes. I don't think it would have gave us as much dimension as we're getting out of this if we didn't have that light color underneath. But again, whatever fits you better and that you like, that's what I would do. So now we have grass. We are almost done. I'm going to smooth out a little bit around this sentiment. I want to kind of frame it up a little bit. But I don't think I'm going to color that. I think I'm going to leave that more of the white, and I'm going to color in the little basket and the little. But I'm going to leave some grass kind of going up into it. Maybe I'll even put a few little ones right here. Right here. Hee hee. You like it this way? I like it this way. Me too, me too. Just depends on your personal preference. Okay, so we're done with that. So now what I'm going to do is take a multi-liner, a pretty thick one. This one is my 0.3 multi-liner. So it makes a pretty thick line. And what I'm going to do is build my 3 laundry lines across my trees. So I'm just going to go in here and draw this line. And then I'm going to draw a second one. But I got to give them enough space because you got to be able to hang your laundry on it, for crying out loud. Okay. And don't worry, we're going to put some wraparounds on the tree too. Okay. Oops. So I messed that one up a little bit. That's all right. We'll just put a bug over it. Okay. So, or it could just be a fallen down. Okay. So we're going to put like these little strings around it to show that we have tied these strings around the tree. Can they see me? There we go. I'm just going to put these little things so it looks like we've wrapped these strings around the tree a couple of times to hold up our stuff. So we've wrapped around it a few times. Make sure it holds our laundry because you know how that goes. If you only wrap it around once, your laundry is not going to stay up there. So we're going to wrap them around twice. This one's a little wobbly, but if you know when you hang stuff on there, I'm just going to thicken up these lines. I want them to be a little bit thicker, so I probably should have picked a bigger multi-liner, but just want to make them a little bit thicker. There we go. So now she has laundry lines to hang her little baskets on, her little laundry on. And I tried earlier to draw little clips, but I can't. I don't mind hanging my stuff outside either, because I'm going to back it up just a little bit so you can see all of it in one shot. So those are wrapped around the tree, and maybe I should just put a few little strings off there so you can tell they're wrapped. And then you can tell that you have a hanging clothes. So I'm going to do real quick, I'm going to pull this G94 And I'm going to do this little money bag right here. And then I want the inside of it to be pretty bright. So I'm going to use my YG25 using the same colors I used earlier.
Are you gonna do the sky?
But the ones, yes, I am going to do the sky in just a minute. So I want to use these, but I want to make it brighter. So I'm trying to use the colors we already used because I have a ton of colors on my desk. But I did pull in this YG21 to give it a little bit brightness in the money bag. Our laundry basket, I'm going to go back in. Yes, I am going to do the sky. It just isn't finished without it. So here's my E35, which is the same color that I used on my basket down below, but this is a different kind of basket. So just going to do the outside of that and under the lip and the clothes that are hanging over. And then I'm going to go to my 33, if I can find it. Maybe I didn't keep it on my desk. So we'll just go straight to 31. This is the same colors that we used on this basket, but we made this basket see-through. This one is not. And then I'm going to go to my clothes, and I'm going to make one red. It's going to be a deep red. I'm going to make one blue. This one is B26. These are the same, R29, B26. These are the same colors that we used. In fact, I might even make this one look like pants because you can't even see that that line. And I am going to use the B23 to finish this blue one off. So now we have our little message down here. Cute, 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 cute. Okay, so let's see if we can get away with doing the sky. I want to do the sky really light. So I'm going to use B93, 52, and 41. So they're going to make a really pretty sky. And it'll bring out the blue in all the rest of this. Oops, I don't want to use that end. B93 is going to be the darker of them. And we have to be cautious when we do this because we do not want to cover our fence. So I'm just going to build this out. We're going to put 3 colors on this. As long as we work rather fast, we can keep the paper wet and they'll all blend together. It'll look a little splotchy when I first start out, but it will all blend together and be just fine. Now we could have used ribbon. Yep. We could have used ribbon and put it around the tree, and that would have been a good idea too, but I didn't think about that till just now. And we're almost done, we're almost done. Okay. We gotta have the sky. It just doesn't look complete without the sky. But once I do this really detailed part in here with the darkest one, it will be fine that I won't have to do so detailed in these little areas when I get to the next shades of color. So I'm building this in the darkest color. It look funny now, but I promise it will all come out. Oh, that's a good idea for clothesline, honey. Okay, so it's okay if you go over some of this a little bit with the blue because it's really behind the tree. But I'm just going to kind of do it a little bit less detailed here until I get to the lightest shade of blue. So just kind of filling this in. I'm going to be real careful around these right here, because I want to keep that very bright, vibrant green for my trees. So it probably would have been easier for this part if we'd filled it all in green up there, but I did not. So now we have to either get our greens out and fill it in so the trees meet, or do like I just did. So I'm going to go in with this one now just to fill in the rest of the sky because it's a little bit faster. If you touch the green leaves, it's fine. Don't worry. All is good. B52 is going to be more of a bluish green, so it's going to kind of lighten this up a little bit. It'll look a little bit cloudy, but our last color will lighten all of that up and make it look a little better. We don't want it to rain. We got laundry to do. So we don't want any rain on this day at all. Unless it's going to rain money. And then it will... You like the blue in between? Yeah. I mean, you can do it. You can even touch over the green and just stick that blue in there. I would recommend doing darker leaves if you want to put a lot of that in there. So see how it's starting to smooth out now? It's not so dark. It's kind of brightening up just a little bit. Okay, I'm going to hit it with one more color, which is the B41. It's the lighter of all the colors, so that way I can touch a little bit more up here within the trees. Gonna lighten it up a little bit. I'm probably going to not do too much down here by the... because I want by the fence, because I really want to lighten up here instead. I'm going to put it in here, here, here. Just kind of filling that in. Now we have a nice pretty sky. We're done. Did I miss anything? I think I got it all. So we did our, let's see if I can zoom it out a little bit so you guys can see the whole thing. So now we have our little girl who's outside doing laundry and enjoying the day. I did add a lot. Jamie did miss out today. She usually watches it in the morning when she gets up really, really early. I super duper love how this one came out. But look at that hair. You can give your girls long hair. Those that jumped in later, this girl did not have, this is what she looked like. And this is what she looks like when you add a ponytail on her. Such a big difference. I'm so glad you guys liked it. I won't keep you any longer. I will probably put a card base on this later, but I super like it. Look, she looks unhappy because she has to do laundry. I will probably make a card out of this one and post it later with the YouTube link. But for right now, thank you so much for sticking with me. You guys did stick with me. A lot of you stuck with me tonight. Thank you so much. I'm sorry they're such long classes, but they're so much fun. And if you guys want me to break it up in the future, like the background one night and the image the other night, then just let me know what your opinion is. I would love it because I don't mind doing both. So if you'd like it all together in one shot, we'll keep doing it. Otherwise, yeah, so just let me know. You're doing laundry right now. So if anybody is watching this replay on YouTube, make sure you hit the thumbs up for like and subscribe. We post all our videos there. And I hope that I will see you guys here again tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Central Time. And Jamie is 10 a.m. Central Time. Thank you. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good evening.